Hey guys, and welcome back to Solo in Seattle. It's your host, Amanda. We are back for season two, episode six, with a friend of mine and maybe a potential love interest. We met last summer in Tacoma. We are thinking that it was at a comedy show, Martin Amini. So today's episode brings us from chance meeting to social media to in person today. What we're going to be talking about is the casual bar meetup to following each other on socials to reconnecting in real life and kind of what that looks like either for us or for anyone in general, because I think this is a pretty good topic and familiar for a lot of people.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be talk to you and stuff. So
Yeah, welcome to the podcast and, welcome to real life.
I know finally after a while.
I know. I don't even remember when the comedy show was. Was it in the summer?
I think it
It
was
had to.
like early summer. I think it was like around May, June, something like that.
Yeah.
I think it was like late May.
Yeah, so for the past year, I've been pretty much talking almost every day.
Yeah.
It went from like trying to figure out how do we follow each other because last summer I had a really bad track record of going out and meeting people, and I would give them my Instagram. And then the next day I would look at the Instagram and I would be like, oh my God, I met this guy. And I think that you also kind of shared that
I
same.
know. Same experience, almost. Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because we talked about it multiple times and trying to figure out like how we met, how we talked, who followed who, and then like we just keep coming up with like
We don't know.
assumptions, but then we know it's like one of two. We end up being like, okay, it's either this or this.
Right, either we met at the comedy show or we met at this
The
random
club, yeah.
bar after, yeah, the club after. So that brings me to the first question. Obviously, we kind of already talked about it.
Mhm.
When and where did we meet?
So
So,
again, so like we talked about, it's between two places. There's like this place, like nightclub in Tacoma, which I've been there once, and she said she did the same thing
and I've
too.
only been there one time too,
Yeah.
and I don't think it was on the same night.
Yeah, so we kind of do like, okay, maybe it was the same day because I felt like I was seeing somebody there, but then we didn't stay for too long. And she said that she saw somebody there at the same time. And then the second option was like the Martin and me because I felt like we both met, and I kind of remember vaguely because I was, I was a little, I don't know.
We were lit that night.
So like, okay, like, and then I remember she was behind me, and I think that's where I kind of saw you first. Personally, I feel like that's where I saw you, and because after that, like after I posted something on Instagram and then I went to on Instagram, you can look at the location and then see the people that like were at the club and stuff like that, or like at the event.
Like who
And, like,
checked in or who was like
yeah.
posting socials or
And
whatever.
I think that's where I saw her story or something. I was like, oh, I think I've seen this person there, or maybe more than that time.
Okay.
So
So what stood out about that moment whenever you saw me on socials and you were like, she looks familiar?
yeah. I think when I remember, because I kind of like remember like seeing you at that show. Then it kinda was like, "Oh, I think I remember this person. They were behind me and they were having a lot of fun together." Because I was by myself. I was, like, sitting at a table with, like, random people, but then this table behind me was, like, this group of girls. They're just having a good time, and I was
We were so loud. We were gonna get kicked out of
like,
that bar or the comedy club. They kept security kept coming to our table and like, You guys are gonna get kicked out if you don't quiet down." And we were just like taking shots of Patron, being wild animals. Meeting somebody randomly out and about. Do you usually exchange social medias like quickly, or is there hesitation? Not just with me, but just like
yeah.
in general.
It just depends. I mean, you would talk to somebody and stuff like that, and you kinda, like, feel the vibe and feel like if you're kinda vibing with them, if they're vibing with you as well, then you would try and ask for social phone number or something like that, and if, like, if they're not interested, then they would but most of the time it's hard. Like you don't want to have an expectation most of the time. So
Hmm.
if it happened and they give you that, then that's good. Then you kind of build from that.
Do you
But
think it's better to get a phone number or a social media handle?
um, that also depends because like I feel like it's easier to get somebody social because some people are like very skeptical of giving you their phone number,
Yeah.
especially for like girls, which is understandable sometimes. So I try to just get social like Instagram mostly. Most likely is like Instagram or something, and then you just see how it is from there.
Mhm.
Maybe like if you want to end a date after that and stuff like that, then maybe you try and ask for a number, but you don't want to do it from the beginning.
And so we obviously don't know this question. Who followed who first?
I know I did. I know 100% I did. I think I did first. And I think it was maybe after that night because I followed you, and I think the next day, I believe I I texted you first,
Mhm.
and then I don't remember what was verse 6. I don't want it's good.
Yeah, we would have
I'd
to
have to scroll way
we'd have to
back.
yeah, because we talk a lot,
Uh,
so I think that it would be, like, hard to be like, "Well, what was,
the
the
first, yeah.
first thing or who initiated what first?" So, what was your first impression of my socials?
I think your social was like very interesting. I mean, I didn't know in the beginning when I followed you because I saw how many followers you had. I was like, that's gonna be difficult to kind of like get her attention. So I was like, okay, she's probably I'm not sure what she's doing because I looked and I was like, oh, she's probably have a lot of followers. But she probably do something. She does something. But I'm very impressed. I was like, okay, it's very I don't know how to explain it, but I was very surprised. I like it. I liked how it is. I like.
It's a wild card
I
profile, I
know
feel like that's not
it's mix of a lot of
it's
stuff.
yeah, it's just, like, literally me vlogging my life.
I know. Yeah, that's why I was like, oh, this is she's living her life basically. It's like she's enjoying her
Sharing
life.
it. Yeah, all of it except for, like, the intimate stuff, the
Yeah,
private stuff, right?
yeah,
Like,
definitely.
I
Yeah.
don't it's mainly just me going out, showing people where I go out and things like that, and then
Hmm.
sometimes it's, like, spicy a little
Yeah.
bit, with
Yeah.
the pictures. Do you remember, did you start liking, commenting, DMing first, or was it more like passive watching? Were you just kinda, like, filling it out, or were you trying to get my attention?
I think maybe I probably like liked a couple of pictures. I was like, huh, like she looks very attractive in this. And then I think I liked a couple of pictures and I DM'd you first.
Okay.
But I didn't wait too long. I was like, I don't want to miss this because I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know what's gonna happen, so might as well just take advantage of it and talk to her first.
I was gonna say that was my next question. How long before, one of us initiated the conversation? Then I think like once the conversation started flowing,
Mm.
like it hasn't stopped.
Oh, we definitely, yeah, no,
Yeah. And then like, there's obviously a pretty large gap in distance of where I live and where you live. And so that kind of I'm not gonna say it deterred us meeting.
mm,
I would hit you last minute and be
yeah,
like, come,
oh
come out
yes,
or come hang out or whatever. And, the proximity of where I was at versus where you were at, there was like a large gap of time for you to be able to
yeah,
get ready and come. So that never really worked out. But we made it work to where we are in person today.
I
So
know.
that moves me to this next question. So who suggested meeting again and how did that happen?
I mean, I think in the beginning it was hard because like I would say it sometimes and then you would be busy and then you would say it sometimes, but it would be late. And then like, so it was like a back and forth.
Yeah,
But I know like recently, like we were trying to figure out like a good time for both of us. And I think you were the first one to initiate, I believe. I know we've always tried to go on dates and stuff like that, but it just never worked out because of, again, the distance and stuff. But now that you're closer to me, now it's easier. And that's how this is our date basically. It's this podcast.
it's our spontaneous meeting. So do you think that I match my online persona or is there more of a surprise?
I mean, I don't think there's any surprise. I mean, again, because the stuff that you show on social media is like you enjoying your life. That's like your, but then again, there's like some personal stuff that I'm still trying to get to know more about you.
Mm,
But I know most of the stuff that you show like is
who I am.
that's your personality, and I
Hmm.
feel like that's kind of it's rarely when you find because there's people that just fake stuff on Instagram
For
and stuff,
sure.
and their life is different.
So what
But
was your first impression when you saw me today?
oh,
Putting you on the spot.
I know. I don't know. I was like, I think it's what I expected. It's
Hmm.
like, I mean, again, like, because when I've always seen you on social media and your Instagram and stuff. So like when saw you, I was like, she looked better in person, actually. Like, serious. I was like, she looks better in person. I mean,
And I have like no makeup on,
I know.
nothing
Yeah. I
today.
mean,
Like
this is your
I'm in,
pimples.
yeah, yeah, literally. Like I'm in my athleisure, just like a
Yeah.
little, yeah.
No,
Because
I
I'm
was
like,
like,
well, if I'm like, well, it depends on how long we hang out today. I might go to the gym.
yeah,
And that's the craziest thing, right? Is because I am such a casual girl.
that's good. I love that. I love
But
that.
some guys don't like that. Some
Yeah.
guys are like, you need to dress up, you need to like look
Yeah.
better, you need to be all dolled up. But like I am a total like
No, I love that.
minimalist.
That.
And so like if you are like, hell yeah, this is
No, I love this. Trust me.
this works out.
The same thing too. And like I left that for somebody else to be like that, and that's me too. Like I'll just be wearing sweats and like I don't know Crocs and stuff like that, and I'll be
Yeah.
cool. But if you're cool with it, that's fine. But
Yeah. And so like so you walked in to where we were meeting at and I just Did I give you a hug? I think
Yes,
I just
yes,
like
we did.
walked up to you and just
Yes.
like we embraced,
Yeah, you
right?
got off the
Because
line.
yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I immediately recognized you too from
Mhm.
socials, right? Because
Yeah.
it's not just following me. I
Sure.
also, follow you, although you're definitely not as like public facing as I
Oh, yeah.
am.
You're too famous. You're too famous now.
It was just kind of like, trying to figure out like, okay, well, I'm obviously attracted to you. You're a
Mhm.
handsome guy. You're so kind.
Yeah.
You're so kind and you're so thoughtful. But the thing with me is, do you feel like I give off friend zone vibes?
I haven't felt that yet. I think
Okay, good.
we we haven't
Because
gotten to that part yet, I
okay.
guess, but I think we're good for now.
Okay. All right. So how did and this is again gonna be hard for us because we
Yeah.
don't remember our first meeting.
Oh, wait,
Or
what was your first impression about me then?
oh, here we go.
Was that matching my social media as well? I mean, I know my social media is not I don't have thousands of followers, but
Yeah, I don't have thousands of followers either. I have thousands of viewers.
oh, okay.
But those little haters don't hit that follow button. No,
Shout out to the haters.
shout out to the haters. Hey, keep running those views up because that's how I keep getting brand deals, and I appreciate you guys. I was in line and I turned around and I recognized you
Mhm.
immediately, right? And
Yeah.
so I immediately like was like, oh, he's very handsome. And so that made me more comfortable to be able to come and like embrace you,
Yeah.
right? And give you a hug. And
Okay.
like you said, I got out of line
Yeah.
and ran
Oh,
over to you. Did that make you feel good?
I know. I know. I was like, "Were you ordering?" And you're like, "No, I'm still trying to figure it out." And I was like, "Okay."
You're like, I'm pretty sure you were about to
It's like,
order.
"Okay." Yeah, it looked like you were right there at the register, but okay.
Yeah, I stopped what I was doing and like came to you, right?
Yeah.
To greet you. All right. And so how did this second meeting compare to the first? Well, technically the first meeting, we don't
Oh, yeah. We don't remember as much of it.
but so
Yeah.
far so good. I feel
Oh,
very
yeah.
comfortable. I
Oh,
feel like
same. Yeah.
the conversation has been flowing. So do you think that you and I would have reconnected without social media?
Probably not, but I feel like since we're assuming that we met at 2 places, maybe, I don't know, maybe if we're lucky enough, we could meet somewhere else again.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, "Okay, 3rd time is a charm."
Third time is a charm. Right. Now that we're closer in proximity to each other. But also I've been, in this area for a little over almost a month now. And
Yeah,
it's only the first time that we're
I
hanging
know,
out
I
and
know.
calls to that interest of like dating and current time dating. Like I am so green to this,
Yeah.
as far as not putting myself out there and
Mhm.
getting to know anybody. And so it's just like, is this how this is supposed to go? Like, is this normal? And you kind of are dating, right? And or you were dating or
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Yeah, I've been single for a while, so but I feel like because of how hard to kind of find somebody to talk to or anything to kind of be with, then I kinda just never try to put myself out there.
Mhm.
So, I just stayed connected to the people I know, which was you because I was, like, more attracted to you, so I just kept it, and then we just kept talking. But I feel like because which was understandable, we both had a lot going on. Like, we were both busy, so we couldn't find time, and you were just settling into the area, so I didn't wanna, like, "Let's meet right away," which I would've, and I think we kinda talked about finding a good time for us, and we just happened to work out for us today.
And I will take
Uh
accountability. I did cancel on you the last time we were supposed
Oh,
to
yeah.
hang.
But that was the thing, it was because I feel like it was too late too,
Yeah.
and we were trying to go at it and trying to maybe, like, record the podcast, but I feel like, it kinda didn't work out for both
Yeah.
of us,
Because
but
it was the very last minute. We're trying to
yeah,
like schedule, oh, well, do you want to, do this? Do you want to do that? Do you want to hang out? Do you want to do a bar? Do you want to do
mm,
this?
yeah,
And so, that leads us to like now trying to find like a quiet space
I know.
to record so that way we can be in person and fill out
Yeah.
the vibe. So do you think that the online interaction helped or hurt our connection?
Well, it definitely helped. Yeah, it definitely helped it because that's how we got connected, we talked, we got to know each other a little bit, and then kinda that it helped a lot. The more we talked, I mean, like, again, it's been since last summer, and it's almost a year now. Yeah, like, the more we talk, the more we know a lot about each other. So now, like, when we met for the first time, it felt we've met multiple times. Like, it was
Right.
very, like
It was organic. It
yeah,
wasn't uncomfortable or
yeah,
awkward.
not at all.
I don't think there's even been a time in the last hour or so that we've been hanging out that it's been awkward
Yeah,
or
yeah,
awkward silences.
yeah. I didn't feel that we just kept talking like we known each other for a while. We
Yeah,
did, but it was just like meeting for the first time. Usually you would expect that one of you is gonna be shy or you're not comfortable enough. And so, but for us, we just vibe easily. It's like, yeah.
super easy vibe. So, would you recommend this approach for others looking to build relationships?
Well, it depends. I mean, mean, for us, it was very interesting because that would not happen to anybody. Because for us to just meet, we were like, well, maybe we met here, and because again, both of us we didn't remember how we followed each other, how we stopped talking, how we saw each other first time. So it was like we're still out, like we're still unsure about it.
It doesn't even matter at this point, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm like, we're way past that now.
Yeah.
Like we don't have to worry. Um, but I don't know. I feel like if you meet somebody somewhere and you feel like you can feel that they're interested in you and something like that, just go for it and ask, talk to them or something.
Mhm.
And I feel like um, it could be hard for some people, but and I think that was hard for me to do at that time when I saw it because again I was drunk and then and I don't think it was perfect like environment to do so. Yeah, I mean you don't want to wait a year to meet, but again it was like there was excuses because like she was living far, and I was we were both on each side of Seattle.
Yeah.
So it was hard for us to meet, and it didn't work out for a while. But we kept staying in touch. We knew it's gonna happen at some point.
Well, how do you feel about the interaction now, like, between us?
Oh, it's very like smooth. I don't feel
Mhm.
like there's. It's like I said. It's kind of like I known you. Like I've known you for like so long. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like I just met you for the first time or something like that. Like it felt like we've known each other for so long, and but I know you. I'm very close. It didn't feel I just met you or no, like this awkward whatever. I'm too not comfortable with you. No, it just felt very genuine, very normal. It's kind of like I just know you
Yeah.
and you
No,
know me too. Like
right. It's we check on each other
mhm,
we talk almost every day, I feel like.
literally, yeah, that's true.
I don't think or if a day or so goes by, there's no, "Why didn't you, hit me up?" or
Yeah,
any of that stuff. It's just kind of like, "Oh, hey, whatever." And we're both night owls.
yeah. Oh yeah, fast midnight.
And it's not anything weird to, like, hit each other up
Yeah,
randomly super late night, because sometimes people are like, "Oh, I didn't wanna text you because I didn't know if you were sleeping," and you're like, "I know she's not sleeping."
I know. I'm seeing you like posting stuff on Instagram or like on your stories or like something like that, and
And
just
so
hit
it's
each other up.
yeah, it's easier, like, if you're like, "Oh, she's still up," like,
Yeah.
whatever gallivanting, whatever nonsense that she's we're doing. So are there any unexpected surprises or regrets or anything from the year until now?
Just about me in general.
Just yeah, like you, us, whatever, right? In the past year,
I
as
re-
far as building on a relationship or
uh,
whatever this may
oh yeah, I think
blossom into.
I think like the only thing that I don't want to say regret. I'll just say learn from is for a relationship like you don't want to rush and put your feelings out there right away, or
Mhm.
because you're gonna get hurt at some point. Like
Right.
there's no doubt about it. Like you want to take everything slow, easy, and just you don't want to go with the flow because that's not. I mean, yes, if you want to put a title on it or something like that, you can. But again, you don't want to your feelings. You want to hold into them for a little bit.
And that also, like, makes a really good point, right? Because, like, when people meet, I
Mhm.
feel like they rush into sticking to each other,
Oh
like,
yeah,
as if they're gonna lose each other. As I've gotten older and have kind of work through my breakup trauma and drama, I kind of have a lot of pause.
yeah.
I'm very, very cautious in my approach and things. Like, how do you know when you're supposed to?
I swear. I mean, maybe not as long as you, but I still feel the same way because of how like I take too many breaks. Because again, like I don't rush myself in another relationship after
Yeah.
one, and so because of that, like when I'm meeting somebody new and I'm just going on dates or trying to get to know somebody, I don't know either if I should make the move or should I wait for her. Like how does it go? And so it just makes me nervous. Then I just let it go and not do anything about it. And so like you, like I don't know. Like sometimes I'm like I don't know what to do. Like should I just go for it? Am I gonna get rejected? Like, and you
Right.
just keep overthinking it, and then you end up not doing anything.
So just to follow that up, when I say that I haven't kissed someone in over 15 years, well, I was with my ex-husband for like a decade, and then I was with my ex-boyfriend for a decade, and then this last summer I was just solo dolo. And so now it's like, okay, well, I'm kind of interested in putting myself back
Uh-huh,
out there,
uh-huh.
but it's like, you want to kiss me where? Like on the mouth?
I love that.
And then it's like, okay, so wait. Like are we supposed to, like, make out, like, with the tongue? Like, are you kidding?
Oh yeah,
It's a
I think you mostly question yourself. You know, you're like,
but
Only the other person knows what they
Like,
want to do, but I don't know what to do.
I
I don't want to make
associate
it awkward for them.
no, like me in my brain, I associate kissing, like we're about to get it in. So like my brain automatically goes to like
It's not just that. It's
it's
gonna go further than
like it's
that.
not PG.
Yeah, that's it. Like, yeah,
Like I don't know. Is that like maybe that's what's wrong with me? Like
yeah, no, that's
because I'm
funny.
just
That's
like
funny.
I'm thinking to myself like and a funny story. So with my last relationship that I was in, I met him online. Okay? And on the first day that we met, then we hung out and we vibed and it was hella cool. And he walked me out and then he like moved towards me to kiss me, and I was like, "Bro, what you doing?" And he was like, "Oh, I was gonna kiss you." I was like, "On my mouth? I just met you. What are you doing?" And I remember distinctly I did the exact same thing, initially because I'm used to dating my friends.
Yeah.
And not like friends like I collect around here or whatever, but just like somebody I'm familiar with.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
the proximity of like you and I being able to date, it would be
Yeah.
easier because I'm like, "Oh, I already know him. You know
Uh-huh.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So how do you think this experience compares to meeting someone through a dating app? So like us meeting randomly where we can't figure
Yeah.
out to like interacting on socials for the past year and then meeting in person and just vibing and
Yeah.
being able to do this podcast randomly. So you've been on dating apps.
True. Yeah.
I was on dating apps one time and I met a person that I was with for a damn near a decade.
Mhm.
I still don't recommend dating apps
Me neither. Yeah.
because I feel even though I was in a long-term relationship with that person, he wasn't who he said he was.
Uh-huh. Yeah. That's true. That's very true.
And I feel like my girlfriends, they date all the time on dating apps. They say the exact same thing.
Yeah.
They're like, I met somebody on the dating app and we went on a couple of dates, and either they have like a whole trauma they were dealing with, an ex situation, maybe even a marriage.
Yeah.
What is it like for men with women on dating apps?
I think for men it's harder for them to kind of like meet somebody because usually women, which is understandable, are very protective, very like I don't know. They put like there's a barrier where like they're like, well, they're skeptical about who they want to be, and I'm not sure what they usually look for, and so it's hard for men to kind of find somebody because like you like somebody, you like their profile and stuff like that. Swipe right.
Hey, friends. So, just welcome back to Solo in Seattle. The person that I was interviewing and I had to leave the location where we were at, and we have not been able to catch up again in person to finish our recording. So, I'm going to use the rest of the episode to just kind of reflect on the first time I met him. We've actually hung out one more time since this interview. I just wanted to give you guys some context, my perspective. When meeting someone for the first time, in a serendipitous way, it does carry a certain magic, whether it's at a comedy show or a lively bar in Tacoma. Just reflecting on my encounter with the person that I interviewed, I think about how fleeting and unplanned moments can become the foundation of a connection that evolves into something meaningful. Those what if questions, like wondering if we'd still be talking if we hadn't crossed paths that night, highlight the unique power of chance encounters. These moments just kind of reminded me that life often surprises us when we least expect it. There's an element of adventure and not knowing the significance of a first meeting until much later. That's something we should celebrate and stay open to, even in a world of increasingly guided by algorithms and intentionality. Transitioning from a chance meeting to following each other on social media, it just adds a whole nother layer to the relationship. For me and him, it started out with figuring out who followed who. And through that, we encountered each other's online worlds. Social media kind of made our connection accessible. It allowed us to stay in touch beyond the casual bar meetup and kept the lines of communication open daily. But there's also something to be said about how social media can complicate things. Curating what we show as ourselves online can create both transparency and mystery, often leaving people to wonder if the online identities align with real life personas. Looking back, I see social media as both a tool and a stage. It brought us closer, yet left room for curiosity until we reconnected in person. After nearly a year of communicating digitally and reuniting with him face to face, it brought a sense of grounding to our connection. It's fascinating how a series of likes, comments, and messages can kind of build a bridge, but it's in person moments that solidify or redefine the relationship. For me, there's an irreplaceable authenticity to being present with someone. As you know, if you ever hang out with me, it's going to be sharing laughter, exchanging glances, and observing nuances that don't fully translate online. These moments kind of remind me of the importance of balancing digital interaction with real world engagement. After all, it's the tangible connections that leave the most lasting impressions. This reflection underscores the journey from spontaneity to sustained connection. It kind of weaves together the threads of chance, digital bridges, and the timeless human need for real world interactions. My question to you guys in this very short episode is, what do you think? Would you dare to ever meet somebody in the outside world one time, connect with them on socials, and then as your first date, record a podcast episode and ask questions about intentionality, about attraction, about if they think that you are your authentic self or not? It's just kind of one of those things that is definitely dicey. Chance meetings often feel magical because of their unpredictability, reminding us that life is serendipitous, but they also strip away calculated intentions. I find myself kind of reminiscing about the role of timing and space. Being in the right place at the right time, it makes chance encounters possible. These moments highlight how unique our paths are and our decisions are. A different choice of direction might have meant missing the opportunity entirely. I was just out with my girls. We were at a comedy show and we had way too much fun, which led to him turning around and, seeing me and finding me attractive and then finding me on socials. But the spontaneity in building this relationship with him was really cool because it was definitely a lack of planning, but it encouraged raw, genuine interaction. There's no expectation of what the meeting might lead to, be it a friendship, a professional connection, or romance. So the dynamic just kind of feels organic. Then we have the butterfly effect, right? A seemingly small decision, like attending a comedy show, walking to a bar, it created kind of a ripple into a significant moment that kind of changed the narratives of our personal lives. The randomness became a reminder of how interconnected events and decisions are. And human adaptability, right? Chance meetings test our ability to adapt and create connections in unforeseen circumstances. They often reveal parts of ourselves we weren't actively showcasing, kind of like your humor, your curiosity, which I was totally curious, the openness. He was absolutely open and so confident during this interview, and that was really attractive. So it made it really memorable and it made it really impactful for me, reflecting and growing from the experience. It's just kind of I'm trying to figure out, like, where would it go? If there was anything that made our interaction stand out, was it the timing, the shared laughter, was it something else? Such reflection kind of often sheds light on what we value in relationships and interactions. So I kind of ask you guys too, my listeners, have you ever felt like any of your chance meetings have changed your perspective or your life trajectory in profound ways? Sometimes those moments can spark realizations we never even expected. So, how do chance meetings differ from planned interactions? It's kind of like the unpredictability, right? They often happen in unplanned casual settings, leaving no room for preconceived notions. I literally told this guy, if you want to meet me, you have to do my podcast. It made it exciting, it made it authentic, and neither one of us had any set expectations. It was slightly planned, obviously, because we had tried to get together on multiple occasions, but we were very deliberate. We were very intentional about the time, the place, and we were just able to, create certain expectations about what we were there for. And it was very raw, very in the moment. There was a sense of discovery as you kind of get to know someone unexpectedly, making the interaction more organic. It didn't feel rehearsed. It was kind of constrained by social norms because we were in a public space and people were walking around us, and there were children that were just being children playing in the space as well. So it was met with a lot of distraction, which was kind of annoying. But again, it kind of led to that human connection. But it was for a specific purpose, and we had an outcome in mind, and that was to meet in person for the first time after a year and to get to know each other. So, the brain was literally working on the fly. We were kind of adjusting to the situation, and we just kind of went off instincts, and we had to definitely improv in the space that we were in and just let our natural personalities do its thing. There wasn't anything that needed to be polished or presented or misaligned. It was literally just me and him having a conversation in person and him answering the questions. And like I said, he knocked it out the park. He did it really well for kind of being grilled in his certain situation. And as I kind of listened to the playback, you can hear some like flirting in there, and it was really cute, spontaneous. And he was on board, and that was just so much fun. And it was just easier to kind of follow up, and it's definitely been easier to maintain the connection with him. And definitely it is a lasting impression. As far as kind of how I perceived some of the interactions, it just kind of just wanted it to go well. I wanted it to feel safe. I wanted it to be fun and have a lot of positive aspects and definitely make it feel authentic and surprising. We weren't filtering anything through preset lens. The mood played a significant role. We were kind of again in a public space, but we had sat down and had coffee together an hour prior to recording the episode. So we took some private time to kind of feel the vibe of each other and get to know each other before we kind of leaped into this scripted conversation, basically, of the who, what, where, why. I mean, I told him the questions up front and made sure he was comfortable with the questions. And then we just kind of went from there with being able to record organically. So that's my kind of modern spin on dating these days. Super unconventional, but I thought it was fun. And I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode. It's definitely a different one, but again, I just thought it would be fun to be able to do something like this. And so you just never know what you're going to get with me, Amanda. And I don't know, I'm just such a wild card, and who knows. So if you like my episodes, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, leave me a rating. I really appreciate you, and stay solo.